Hey everyone, it's great to be back on Corporate Decoder. Today PLM is filing an 8K, and I am seeing a lot of potential confusion regarding their business combination and the financials being shared. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is sharing some pro forma financial information, which essentially means what things might look like after a big deal closes. But there are some major caveats here that you really need to understand. So what is happening here is that Plum Acquisition Corp. III, which is a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC for short, is involved in a business combination with Tactical Resources Corp. Think of a SPAC like a blank check company that goes public with the sole purpose of acquiring another company. In this case, Plum is looking to merge with Tactical. They entered into an agreement to buy some assets from Tactical Resources. This filing specifically is about sharing projected financial statements. These are not official historic numbers, but rather estimates of what the combined company might look like financially after the deal, or the business combination as they call it. This is called pro forma financial information. They've put together a balance sheet and an income statement, but it is crucial to understand these are unaudited. That means accountants haven't checked them thoroughly. They're based on certain assumptions and the management's best guesses. And here is the big warning. The company explicitly states these numbers are not necessarily indicative of the financial position or results that will be achieved upon the closing of the previously announced business combination. They could be very different. You should not rely on this pro forma information as if it were actual historical performance. Even their auditors haven't really looked at these numbers in detail. So this is purely for informational purposes to give you a potential snapshot, not a guaranteed one. This is a common practice with SPACs as they move towards a merger, but it makes direct financial analysis tricky because you are looking at educated guesses. It is also worth noting that Plum Acquisition Corp. III is identifying itself as an emerging growth company, which means it has fewer than 5 years of public operating history and is subject to certain regulatory accommodations. Now, the filing includes a lot of what they call forward-looking statements. These are basically statements about the future, using words like expect, anticipate, plan, or potential. They are required to include these disclaimers because the future is uncertain and things might not turn out as planned. The company is clearly outlining a whole slate of potential risks. These are the things that could go wrong and prevent the business combination from happening or impact its success. We're talking about changes in market conditions, regulatory approvals not being obtained, legal proceedings, and the big one, failure to realize the anticipated benefits of the business combination. They list things like potential supply shortages for Tactical's business, construction delays, and even the amount of money existing shareholders might ask to get back, which is called redemptions in SPAC world. The most important part of this filing, Exhibit 99.1, is where you'll find these unaudited pro forma condensed combined financial statements for Tactical Resources Corp. These are the numbers we've been talking about, the ones that illustrate what the business might look like after the merger, because these are only pro forma and not audited historical financials. It is really hard to give a detailed financial breakdown with deep analysis in the way we usually do. We don't have solid numbers to compare to previous periods, and we don't have a clear picture of the company's actual financial health before the merger. However, looking at the context provided, the core issue for investors is to understand that this filing is primarily a disclosure about the ongoing merger process, and the information being provided is speculative. It is not an indicator of past performance or a guarantee of future results. The risks outlined are significant, and investors should pay close attention to the conditions necessary for the business combination to close. The company's future success hinges on the successful completion of this business combination and Tactical Resources' ability to execute its business strategy post-merger. The fact that they are identifying as an emerging growth company and are heavily reliant on this merger highlights the speculative nature of their current public trading. For SPACs like Plum, the real challenge often comes after the merger. Will the combined entity perform as expected? Will Tactical Resources be able to deliver on its promises? The pro forma financials can offer a glimpse, but they are just that, a glimpse, not a blueprint. The significant risk of not realizing the anticipated benefits of the merger means investors are essentially betting on the future potential, not proven past performance. The ultimate verdict here isn't about the numbers in this filing because they are projections, but about the execution risk of the merger itself and the underlying business of Tactical Resources. The market will be watching closely for any signs of trouble in closing the deal or in Tactical's operational performance once it is part of the combined entity. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like this video, subscribe for more, and join our Discord community linked below.